Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Caroline Collins. We begin tonight with breaking news this Easter Sunday as a man is shot and killed at a home in Youngstown. This was the scene just after 8 o'clock on the 500 block of Lakewood Avenue. First responders in Elwood City were able to rescue a man, his wife, and their dog after they were thrown from their kayaks. Officials say they fell into the dangerous rapids below the 5th Street Bridge on Saturday. His wife was able to get out of the water and get help. Water rescue teams found the man and his dog an hour and a half later. That was Governor Mike DeWine earlier today as he announced when all restaurants and salons will be allowed to reopen. Before we get to the latest coronavirus news, violence on Warren's east side as shots rang out this afternoon, sending one person to the hospital. This was the scene along Wick Avenue around 5 o'clock. You can see crime scene tape surrounding the house there as investigators work the scene. We're told the shooting sent one man to the hospital. We're working to confirm his condition. Details are still very limited on what exactly that process will look like, but as Danielle Cotterman warns us, it'll be quite some time before life returns to normal. Congratulations, but it's also a scary reality for YSU's nursing graduates. They're leaving college and stepping into the front lines of the coronavirus pandemic. I was there as the graduates were honored in a unique way and spoke with one student who's already recovered from COVID-19, but her family's fight is far from over. Good news for high school athletes and some of those bride and grooms to be. Danielle Cotterman joins us with a look at what's coming back online as well as other updates from the governor's office. Hi, Danielle. You know, Ramel, during this time where we're all staying at home through this pandemic, I've seen so many more people walking outside. I think everyone's just really crossing their fingers for some better weather. It looks like we might have some towards the later part of the week.
Yeah, most definitely get outside. There's definitely a good time for that, especially with dry conditions, but it's going to be pretty chilly this upcoming week.
I mean, even when it's cold, people are still bundling up, just getting out of their homes. So, yeah, doing what they can to stay busy. Thank you, Ramel. Just ahead, we'll tell you how Apple is working on an easier way to find coronavirus testing in your area. But first, here's a look at what's trending on WFMJ.com. The National Guard is providing some assistance there, but those who protested outside the facility today say it's not enough. And Newcastle police are searching for the suspect accused of killing a man Thursday night. Matt Stone has more on another new development involving a high-ranking officer in the department. Good evening, Matt.
This is America. This is not how we're supposed to be treated.
Frustrated and defiant moments after Mercer County's district attorney and Hermitage police cited the prep fitness owner for violating the governor's orders. While the fines are only between $20 and $300, the district attorney says they'll be back and can issue citations every day the facility remains open. If they're not paid, jail time is a possibility. But it's a price Joseph is willing to pay, as he was already warned by state police this week.
I was shut down by the government and by the state police, and I don't have any other means of income to pay my bills. So I was left with no choice. I face a citation or I lose my business, which I've worked my whole life for.
Inside of the 24-hour gym, about 12 people working out, not concerned about the circumstances.
I just feel that it's time to open up the gyms, let people get back to their normal lives.
Joseph said if he didn't reopen, he was going to lose everything.
Time went by, the help that we were promised was never given to us. We have no idea when we're going to be getting our disaster relief funding. I didn't get any type of unemployment.
We asked a legal expert what rights Joseph has to remain open.
No, he doesn't have any rights. The governor has the authority pursuant to the Pennsylvania Disease and Prevention Control Law to issue a shutdown or stay-at-home order.
But Joseph plans to continue making his case.
Shutdown has been subjective. They're picking and choosing which businesses are allowed to be open, and there's absolutely no fairness to it whatsoever.
And in Mercer County, demonstrators took their voices to the streets of downtown Sharon. We were there as dozens of people marched to the police department, rallying against police brutality. More than 100 people marching down West State Street at 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon, making their way to the Sharon City Police Department. Police officers blocking off roads as demonstrators converge on West Conley Boulevard. Organizers say they're marching to end police brutality after the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis at the hands of a police officer.
The injustices, we all want to speak out. We want to be heard.
For 9 minutes, the group laid down on the front lawn of the police department as a symbol of what they say Floyd went through.
That symbolized the 9 minutes that George Floyd had the officer on his neck. We had the option to stand up. He did not. We could breathe. He could not. So, I mean, it was powerful.
Sharon police officers say the organizers reached out to them and they were able to work together to make this a peaceful demonstration.
We support everybody's right to assemble, protest, whatever they need to do. What I did talk to the organizers, and they were 100% on board with me.
And I want to say this for real. I don't have anything against anyone.
Some protesters speaking with police, shaking their hands and asking how they feel about Floyd's death.
We disagree with what happened to Mr. Floyd, and we don't support that. There's trainings that we've had, and we know that the position that Mr. Floyd was in is a bad position, and the officer, it should have been done differently.
The protesters also making their way to the Shenango Valley Freeway, where they blocked the 4-lane road off for a few minutes.
Not all cops are bad cops, but there are some bad seeds, and if you choose to ignore the bad cops, it makes you just as bad as the problem.
Inside of Truck World around dinner time, the Globe restaurant is normally filled to capacity with hungry truck drivers and locals, but things look a lot different now.